and get started this morning. If I could ask everybody to stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Appreciate those of you that are in the gallery today. If I could remind you to turn off your buzzers and beepers and pagers and cell phones and iPads and everything. We'll go ahead and get started. I'd like to call the March meeting to order and would like to review the minutes from last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review, and if so, do I hear a motion to approve? Thank you so much. Second. Thank you, sir. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Reimler?
Yes.
Mr. Moini? Dr. Ellie? You can abstain. Ms. Stonebird? Dr. Wilsey? Yes. Mr. Henderson?
All right. Let's move right into Dr. Reed's presentation. You go, sorry, Dr. Reed. Miss Reed. This is a running joke I have with Dr. Henderson over here. Good morning.
Thank you. Okay. In the category of alcohol and drug treatment programs, we are recommending permit for temporary operation of the following programs: Converted Health LLC out of Seminole, Lifegate Freedom Recovery Ministries Inc. out of Sapulpa, Oklahoma IOP Center Inc. out of Oklahoma City, Tunnel Recovery LLC out of Cache.
Very nice. Do I hear a motion to approve? Thank you. Do I hear a second? Thank you.
Mr. Reimler?
Yes.
Mr. Moini? Ms. Finch? Dr. Early? Ms. Stonebird? Dr. Wilsey? Mr. Henderson?
In the category of alcohol and drug treatment programs, we are recommending certification with special distinction for the following program: Betty Jack Counseling Services, PC, out of Tulsa.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Is there anybody here from Betty Jackson? Well, they are 100% compliant on all their standards, and they're eligible to receive their refund for their certificate, for their certification fee. So congrats to those guys. Do I hear a motion to approve? Second. Thank you.
Mr. Reimler?
Yes.
Mr. Moini? Ms. Finch? Dr. Early? Ms. Stonebird? Dr. Wilsey? Mr. Henderson?
Outpatient treatment program, we recommend program for the program. LLC, talk.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Motion to approve? Thank you. Second. Thank you.
Mr. Reimler?
Yes.
Mr. Moini? Ms. Finch? Dr. Early? Ms. Stonebird? Dr. Wilsey? Mr. Henderson?
In the category of outpatient mental health treatment programs, we are recommending permit for temporary operation of the following program: Converted Health LLC out of Seminole, Joy Therapeutic Services LLC out of Stroud, Oklahoma IOP Center Inc. out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma Treatment Services LLC out of Oklahoma City, Small Town Counseling PLC out of Miami, Sunstone Family Therapy LLC out of Oklahoma City, Tate Counseling Services LLC out of Tulsa.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Thank you.
Mr. Reimler?
Yes.
Mr. Moini?
Yes.
Ms. Finch? Dr. Early? Ms. Stonebird? Dr. Wilsey? Mr. Henderson?
In the category of outpatient mental health treatment programs, we are recommending certification with distinction for the following programs: Counseling Solutions and Interventions LLC out of Oklahoma City, Empowerment Community Services LLC out of Oklahoma City, Moore Family Therapy LLC doing business as Metro Family Therapy out of Moore, Midwest City, and Bethany, Reach the Light Inc. doing business as the Enrichment Center out of Oklahoma City, Rockmont Area Youth Services, Inc., out of Veneta, Miami, Pryor, and Grove, Western Plains Youth and Family Services, Inc., out of Woodward and Laverne.
Is there anyone from Rockmont or Western Plains here today? They are both 100% compliant on all standards and eligible to receive a refund of their certification fee. So congrats to those folks. Thank you, Ms. Reed, for going through those. Any motion to approve here?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, thank you.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moini?
Yes.
Ms. Finch?
Yes.
Dr. Ali?
Yes.
Ms. Stomperud?
Yes.
Dr. Wilsey?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Outpatient mental health treatment programs, we are recommending 2 year certification for the following program: Behavioral Wellness Care Team of Oklahoma, LLC.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moini?
Yes.
Ms. Finch?
Yes.
Dr. Ali?
Yes.
Ms. Stomperud?
Yes.
Dr. Wilsey?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Category of comprehensive community addiction recovery center programs, we are recommending certification with special distinction for the following program: Human Skills and Resources, Inc., out of Tulsa, Pensacola.
Anybody here from Human Skills? Also 100% compliant, eligible to receive a refund of their certification fee. Thank you to those folks. Do I hear a motion for this group?
I make a motion.
Second, thank you.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moini?
Yes.
Ms. Finch?
Yes.
Dr. Ali?
Yes.
Ms. Stomperud?
Yes.
Dr. Wilsey?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
In the category of community residential mental health programs, we recommend probationary certification for the following program: Saturday Residential Care Home, LLC, out of Bonita.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion. Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moini? Ms. Finch?
Yes.
Dr. Ali?
Yes.
Ms. Stomperud?
Yes.
Dr. Wilsey?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
The category of community
If we could, like to move to an update from our fearless leader. Admiral?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it. I'd first like to go ahead and compliment the DMH team. Over the last couple of months, there's been a lot going on. They've done a great job. We've been in the news a little bit, most of it positive. But at the end of the day, they've done yeoman work in a lot of areas. And I'd like to introduce the attorney that's with us today, Andrea Golden. She has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the consent decree. My general So since we last met, I met with all the administrators, Brianna Norman, Paulette Grimes, Holly Webb, Deborah Moran, Terry Lee, Lauren Stover, Autumn Nicholson, Lindsay Owen, and Lindsay Owen is our new administrator for So, anyway, but we now own that property. The facilities team has done a great job in getting that facility up and running. We've moved 32 We had a chance to visit a little bit, but it was a good turnout. I'm still getting positive feedback from the chamber for being down there. We had our ribbon cutting, as I may have mentioned earlier, at the annex, which was well attended. The chairman attended along with two representatives, a senator, and we did a walkthrough and really had a chance to show off that facility. And it's really quite nice. And again, my hat is off to Chad and Luke for all the hard work they put into getting that up and running. We had Capitol Kids Day at the state capitol. I had a chance to participate in that. Kind of a first, which I was unaware of. Apparently that event normally happens on the 3rd floor at the Capitol, and this time it was on the 4th floor. I don't understand all the protocol or politics behind that, but I don't think a lot of the legislators appreciated it being on the 4th floor, but it was, and I thought it was well attended, and so I'm glad I got the invitation to attend. And then it's been a busy 2 months with getting up to speed with Secretary Commissioner Clay Bullard. He has a monthly health care meeting of all his commissioners that come under him. So he and I did not know him prior to his arrival, his appointment. He replaced the previous director and so a previous commissioner who received another assignment. And so we've got to know each other. I had several meetings with Senator Paul Racino, who is very passionate, many of you know, about mental health and has a big influence on our budget. And of course met with the Senate Appropriations Chair, Senator Chuck Hall, and the representative, House Representative from Lawton, just went blank on Trey Caldwell. I hope this isn't being recorded because he will be mad at me that I forgot his name. But and then had meetings with David Ostro, who is the governor's COO on several issues. Met with Brandon Claves, who came in and was very complimentary of the DEMH team. He's with Able Commission and all the work we've done in collaborating with them and working together. I also met with Representative Preston Stinson, who, his wife is a judge. And so he asked if I would meet with her and another judge by the name of Judge Savage. And that went very well. The meeting, with a lot of questions were asked. I think we answered all the questions, which was a good thing. And the questions all pretty much revolved around competency restoration and the consent decree. So I think that was a meeting that was beneficial to both sides. Then we had our coffee connection, which we have monthly, Leadership Town Hall. Had a meeting with Deloitte Consulting, meeting with substance abuse directors, and had a retirement for Sean McCarty, with the, which we celebrated on this floor. And then, which I'm not a big fan of attorneys. I think you all know that. Andrea, she's shaking her head, and I had to attend a motion hearing before Judge Fazell over in Tulsa on the consent decree, and we were represented by former Attorney General John O'Connor, who we've brought on board to help us. And so that was an interesting 2.5-hour meeting, and hopefully that will be my last time to appear in court. But it was interesting to see, hear the discussion for both the class council and to hear a lot of the issues we were trying to resolve and try to get some support on. So anyway, with that, Mr. Chairman, that will conclude my report unless there are any questions from anyone.
Questions from the board?
Thank you.
I have a couple comments I would like to add.
I hope they're positive.
They are. The ribbon cutting that I was thrilled to be able to attend, that facility not only represents a critical shift in dollar savings that you identified and executed, but it's a phenomenal facility. And
Thank you.
to see how Chad and his team and everybody at the department that's worked on that pulled that together so fast and with so much savings and delivering such a great product was really special. And I think everybody that was there that day was proud of you and the department, and it was well celebrated by our comms team, and I'm thrilled to see it all.
So the only feedback I would have on that, Mr. Commissioner, is having spent a lot of time in federal government in D.C. and around, and having spent time in state government, we did something that you don't normally see, and that's a sense of urgency and resolving issues and moving forward. And that team led by Chad, and those of you on the leadership team know the number of times in our meetings that I stress sense of urgency, and they did that. They got out after it, did a great job, although I would have liked to open it about a month earlier. We opened it, and it's heading in the right direction, and we'll have that hospital open by the end of this year, which I can't wait for you to attend that ribbon cutting as well.
Same.
So.
Same. Commissioner, thank you for all that you are doing, have done, and will do. Your time left in the chair. Okay, let's, hearing no other questions for the commissioner, sorry, okay. Mr. Moore is out sick today, and Mr. Henderson has been brought in from the bullpen to deliver the report. I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Okay, the Corporate Accountability Subcommittee met via Zoom on March 18th. The Department Advocate General Joy Mickey presented the Advocate General's report to the subcommittee and updated the committee on the work being conducted by his division. The report is in your board book. There were a few questions regarding the Advocate General's report that Mr. Mickey addressed, and he is present and available to answer any questions.
Any? Hearing no questions, then,
I would be more than willing to make a motion to accept the Advocate General's report.
here's that.
Mr. Wright Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moini?
Yes.
Ms. Finch? Dr. Ali? Ms. Stomperud? Dr. Wilsey? Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
The Department's Inspector General and Assistant General Counsel Dustin Gower presented the Inspector General's report to the subcommittee. The Inspector General's report was reviewed by the subcommittee. There were a few questions that he addressed, and a summary of her report, his report.
I'll fix that for next time.
Okay. Is included in your board book. He also provided an update on ongoing legal work being conducted by the department's legal team. There is no motion with this, and there was no further business discussed.
Very good. Thank you for your report.
Yes,
and
yes.
for all the hard work that goes into that. There's a lot of heavy lifting there. Always a voluminous discussion in that subcommittee. Okay. Dr. Wilson, would you like to give us the Performance Improvement Committee report?
Absolutely, yes. The Performance Improvement Committee met on March 19th via Zoom. Annie Montgomery, Director of Admissions at Berkeley, presented a transformative overhaul of their referral tracking system. Historically, the process was paper-intensive, chaotic operation that relied on printing hundreds of pages per referral, manual shredding, and physical stacks of packets that made tracking patient status nearly impossible. This lack of transparency led to unfilled beds, delayed care for community partners, and significant staff frustration. To resolve this, the team transitioned to a centralized digital planner within Microsoft Teams. This shift has not only secured protected health information, PHI, more effectively, but also has drastically reduced overhead costs, cutting paper consumption from 12 cases per month down to just 2. The new digital infrastructure now allows the department to capture real-time data on every step of the admission journey. We can now track precisely how long it takes for a referral to move from intake to nursing review and finally to physician determination. While the data from February and March highlighted some performance dips due to staffing shortages and the diversion of physicians to OFC-CRC evaluations, having this level of visibility is a game changer. It allows leadership to identify exactly where bottlenecks occur and justify the need for dedicated provider time. The committee is highly encouraged by this progress as it represents a significant step towards the door-to-floor goal of reducing lobby boarding times and ensuring that those we serve move quickly from limbo back into their lives. A central office multidisciplinary team conducts non-punitive mock surveys to simulate inspection conditions. A mock survey of Griffin Memorial was conducted in late November. The process helped the facility prevent or remedy 44 potential findings. Ms. Tracy Leeper reviewed the critical incident report summaries and circumstances surrounding these events. Dr. Nicole Taylor is here today if there are any questions.
Questions from the board? Just one comment. This data deal is going to be transformative, and I'm so grateful that you guys have got this up and running, and it's going to be huge. So thank you.
Yeah, I told them they should do a cost analysis and figure out how much they're saving the department.
It's going to change everything we do.
Yeah, it's significant, yeah. Well, the Performance Improvement Subcommittee recommends that the board accept the critical incidents report.
I'll take that as a motion. Do I hear a second?
Mr. Wright Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moini?
Yes.
Ms. Finch? Dr. Ali? Ms. Stomperud?
Yes.
Dr. Wilsey?
Yes.
Mr. Henderson?
Yes.
Can I vote twice for that one?
You're the chair?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wilsey. Appreciate it. Okay. Mr. Henderson, would you like another turn at the mic?
Okay. The Finance Committee met as well on Wednesday, March 18th via Zoom. We were introduced to Stefan von Dolen, am I saying that?
Stefan.
Stefan. Who is our interim CFO. I don't believe he's with us today. But he, as well as Kathy Menifee, consultant for the department, provided an update to the financial status of the agency. And while no further business was discussed, this was a lengthy meeting. So despite the report, we pretty much took up the whole hour. got us up to date with some good data, so hopefully we'll have more of that moving forward.
Indeed. Commissioner, I'd like to compliment Kathy and Stefan both. She had to take a call during the middle of that committee meeting, left him a little bit to the wolves, but he did great.
Her call that she had to take was from Senator Chuck Hall on our funding.
Has to take it.
Has to take that one.
Anyway, it was extremely helpful to
Good.
have some additional information and some additional insight into.
Meant to also add that Stefan is on loan from the Department of Health, so we'll have him, I guess, for a brief period of time.
We'll have him for a while,
Okay.
and we need him because he has been a quick study, and not that our previous CFO did not do a good job. It's just he has picked up things much quicker because he's been in this environment, and unless you've been in the financial side in state government, it can be a challenge to get up to speed on. And he's done a great job. So, thank you. And again, he's always willing to answer any questions that anyone might have, so just know he's a resource.
It was the most robust conversation we've had in the committee in
Good.
a while, and I was
Good.
thrilled to see it. Okay, any other questions, discussions, comments? No? Commissioner, I'll turn it over to you for introduction on our presenter.
Okay, our presenter is Lori Williams, is a recovery support specialist for our agency working at Jim Talaferro Community Health Center. She's here today to share her story, but before she gives her story, I will just say on a sad note, Jim Talaferro has experienced, since our last meeting, 2 deaths down there of our leadership. And they've had a traumatic few weeks, and we've done our best, since we're in the mental health space, to be able to offer all our help and assistance to the team down there. And so we appreciate you coming up here, taking time away and to give your presentation. But that team has been in our hearts and prayers just to make sure that they're able to make it through. And if you have anything to elaborate on how the team's doing down there, would certainly welcome your insights. But
Absolutely. I think our team has actually gotten a lot stronger. We kind of have bonded together through all of the uncertainty and all of the issues that we've been having. So it's been definitely an experience. I do think that, it has impacted us a lot, but I know that everyone's kind of bonding together to hold us together down there. So with that being said, my name is Lorelei Williams, and I am a behavioral health case manager now. I just recently accepted that position Monday. I've been working at Jim Talaferro for almost 3 years. I am someone who has also lived through addiction and on recovery. I'm honored to be here today to share my story. I grew up in a small town called Elgin, a little bit outside of Lawton. My parents were separated young, and I lived with my dad. So when I was approximately like 12 years old was the first time that I indulged in substances. Of course, it started with marijuana, alcohol, more of a social kind of fun thing at first until it became not so fun, right? I became invested in like furthering myself into that lifestyle of using and selling drugs. At that time, it felt like belonging, and it felt like what I believed was my identity for a long time. At 14, I was introduced to injury and methamphetamine use, and I struggled with that for a good portion of my life. The first time I was placed in treatment, I was 14, and I looked forward to my diagnosis because I thought maybe that would allow me the ability to understand what was wrong with me. So I was kind of shocked to see that my only diagnosis was just polysubstance use. Although my parents did try to intervene, I know that they did everything they could, my denying needing help, and believing that I was content with my addiction kind of pushed that away from me. So when I was 15, I moved out, moved in with an older boyfriend who I then married at 16. The domestic violence was pretty immediate. I remember being a sophomore in high school and struggling to cover the bruises and struggling to make it to class just because of everything I was going through at home. Although I was going through all those struggles, I did always excel academically. Even being removed from traditional settings due to my behaviors, I would still somehow manage to graduate. I walked across the stage, coming down off of drugs, covered in bruises, barely able to walk. 2 weeks after my graduation, my ex-husband assaulted me pretty bad, worse than ever before, and as I was unconscious on the ground, I watched him attempt suicide. After that hospitalization, that violence increased until I knew I had to walk away before one of us ended up in a casket. I wanted better. I knew I wanted better. I wanted to do different, and still, I still crashed harder. I soon after met my now husband, and together we spiraled way deeper into our addiction. At 20, I gave birth to my oldest daughter, and because I had used throughout my entire pregnancy, she was removed from my custody at the hospital. That moment was kind of like the wake-up call for me, and my husband and I did get clean. We spent a full year doing everything we could to get our daughter home, and eventually succeeded. But addiction is patient, and it's around for you. So when I became pregnant with my son, I believe things were going to be different. But 3 days after he was born, I relapsed. And this time, my addiction came back even worse than it was before. For the next 2 years, we lived in a lot of chaos. We lost house after house, car after car. Most days I stole food just to feed my kids. Eventually, the domestic violence in that situation escalated until eventually I walked away, but not anything better. January 19th of 2021, I was living with someone who was selling drugs, and we were raided by the police. DHS, of course, arrived pretty shortly after that, removed my kids from my custody. I bonded out of jail, and instead of taking that time to get better, I spiraled further into my addiction. I was still refusing to admit that my life was unmanageable because of my drug use. Like, I thought I had it all under control. In the same June 2021, I found out I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, and I knew that if I wanted to get my older 2 children home or have any chance at having my family, that I had to get clean, that I could not spend another pregnancy using, and I would not. So June 13th of 2021 is the last day that I used methamphetamine. Been substance-free since then. In that same time frame, my husband had also been going through some complications where he almost lost his life. He was also getting clean, so he asked me if I wanted to get back together and get our kids home. I didn't know if our relationship was ever going to be healthy, but I knew that I needed my family and I needed my children home. So we tried. Climbing out of addiction was not graceful. It wasn't quick. It was tooth and nail, one step at a time, rebuilding our life from the ground up. In January of 2022, I was sentenced on charges to a diversion program called community sentencing, which offered me a second chance that I honestly didn't believe that I deserved at that time. I was required to do a lot of things. It was hard. Quitting felt like it would have been easier. I was required to attend NA meetings, and somewhere in those rooms, it began to kind of sink in for me. I learned a new way to live. I learned from my peers, people that had already been through a similar situation. The other part of my requirements was outpatient treatment at the facility that I currently work at. My first encounter was with a recovery support specialist, and that was like the turning point for me, was hearing her story and seeing someone who had walked that similar path that I had, and it gave me hope, like something that I had never had before. So for the first time, I started to believe that my life was not over. My past didn't have to define my future. I saw a job posting for an RSS position at Jim Talaferro, and I almost didn't apply because I had never had a professional job before, and I doubted whether someone like me could work in a field like behavioral health. I took the chance, and once I started, I quickly realized I had found the field where I belonged. Since then, I've had the opportunity to grow professionally across several departments, including working on the same treatment team that once guided my own recovery. Today, my life looks nothing like the life I once had, and every day I get the opportunity to sit across from people who feel the same hopelessness that I once felt, people who believe they've burned every bridge, people who believe that their past disqualifies them from a future, and I get to show them something different. I get to show them that recovery is possible, not because I read it in a book, but because I lived it. So today, I have my children, I have my family, I have ability, I have purpose, and I have the privilege of turning my past into something meaningful by helping others build their future. The programs that are supported by the department did help give me a second chance at life, so I hold this department very close to my heart. And now every day I get to be a part of giving that chance to someone else. And that's my story. And I thank you guys for your time, for the opportunity to share with you guys today.
before I took this job, my only experience in this space was with the Navy. I was in charge of the manpower side of the Navy at a very high level. And so I was having to deal with young sailors and Marines, family issues, suicidal issues, people that had mental health challenges, et cetera. And so, although the lens I was looking for when I took this job was very small, I knew that this agency, one, had got a lot of bad press over the last couple of years. Two, I felt it didn't have the proper leadership that it needed. Three, I was not a clinician, but I knew there were a lot of good people here that trying to do a lot of good work. I think Lori's story is one that needs to be told, not just her, but there are many Loris out there that have experienced a lot of what is going on. And we've got a lot of good people working in this space at mental health that are helping people like Lori and others. And so I believe the legislature knows we're doing good work, but when it comes to dollars and cents and everybody asking the legislature for money, we're kind of right in that mix. And so we've got advocates over there helping to tell our story and to get us the money we need. And it's unfortunate that over the past few years that the way the financials were run here did not help this agency. So all I've tried to do is put processes and procedures in, put in some guardrails that will help us moving forward, but I feel that whatever happens in the future, whoever comes behind me, that we've got the right people in place right now. If we get the money we need, I think we'll put in and standardize many of the systems that need to be in place. And at the end of the day, this agency, I think, is on stable footing and can move forward and have more and tell more stories like Lori's and make sure that everybody knows that this agency is doing what it needs to do. So back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ms. Williams would like to thank you on behalf of the board for not only your service at Jim Talaferro, but for sharing your story today. It is not lost on us that that is not an easy thing to do. And my wife serves on a baby nonprofit in Tulsa, and last night we sat down with their board and their spouses, and there was a testimony told, and I shared with that group same thing, that I think we realize every board meeting, that's our why. And there are a lot of people that work really hard, and it's a slug. You got
Right.
hundreds and hundreds of people working for you to fight for outcomes, and if that doesn't motivate you, as my grandmother used to say, your wood's wet. Anyway, thank you for sharing. To piggyback, I'm going to slide into new business. And to piggyback on the Admiral's comments, the day that the legislature relieved your predecessor of duty was a tough day at DMH. And I think there's concern on this board, there's concern in leadership, there's concern in staff ranks, and for all the service providers across the state, and certainly for those relying on those services. The governor called me that next morning, and he said, "What do you think we need to do?" And I said, "I think you have a very tough job to appoint someone that can come in quickly and quell the waters, restore the relationship at the Capitol, reassure the staff, reassure the board. And I think, Governor, you and I and whoever you appoint and anybody else that you want to share this story with, the people that depend on this department, have to stand shoulder to shoulder and say, we're not accepting resignations today. We're staying focused on the mission, and that's why." Little did I know that I was going to get this incredible opportunity. We all were going to get this incredible opportunity to get to know you and your leadership and the culture change that you have commenced here is powerful. I snuck around behind you and I asked some people some stuff about you in your time here. First of all, we've got a few days before sine die, so I reserve the right to lobby you and your wife and try to keep you in this chair as long as possible, but I don't think I may not be successful.
That'll be a heavy lift.
Might be better off with the legislature. Anyway, your comments about the budget, I mean, you've effectively, in a very short time, started a culture change here. You've presented a balanced budget. You've stabilized fiscal discipline. The Griffin Memorial Project and the annex, OKC, VHC, not only saved a ton of money, but it delivered an incredibly positive narrative for the department and a facility that the deliverables can be high. I mean, it checked every box imaginable, and only someone with extreme leadership would have seen that, acted on it, been so decisive, and encouraged everyone to act with a sense of urgency, as you mentioned earlier. That's a huge thing. So much reform in the CCBHC model. Every provider I've talked to in the state since you started has talked about the communication that they've had with you. Without a leading question from me, by the way, their response is always straight shooter, open book. That's the kind of transparent leadership that this department needs, and they may not always like what you have to say, but they know where you stand, and that's okay. As a department, we have to stay focused on what's statutorily required for us, and we can't do everything. And so your communication style has been so well received and so appreciated. And that doesn't just apply to CCBHCs. That's every provider you meet with. Every board meeting you talk about all the folks you met with. That's providers, that's consumers, that's everybody you deal with. One of the bullets was about how you've provided top cover for the agency. And by doing so, you brought in a great comms team who I've come to respect a lot for the work they're doing. They have changed the narrative of what's happening. And praise God, because there is a huge amount of good work being done here that we haven't been able to talk about. So
Right.
Thank you for all that you have done. And all that you will do before signing die. That I almost find myself in an uncomfortable position of wishing this legislature would not sign die. Because that means
It's an election. It's an election year. And there are several people quite nervous about the primary.
Yeah.
That's what's driving this. And their sense of urgency to adjourn early.
Well, by doing so, that takes you out of this seat, which I hate to see. But we are grateful.
Thank you.
Personally,
Thank you.
as a board, as your staff, and we will look for ways to further embarrass you and tell stories about you and your great impact here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a great run. I've enjoyed meeting all of you. It's, again, last job I had with the state, I worked for a commission. This time, and hired by the commission, this time working for a board, and was hired by the governor, which we'll see if that legislation changes.
Right.
And so I've got a sense on both sides, and don't have an opinion. As long as we have good people on the board, that's great. The commission over at ODVA posed some challenges for the governor and others, but again, they did good work, still doing good work, and this board does great work under your leadership.
They do great work, with or without my leadership, but thank you for
You
saying
bet.
that. Any other comments or questions for, off the top, I was supposed to introduce, and I'm so sorry, our newest board member, Candace Finch. This is, last bullet should have been first. I apologize. That's on me. Thank you for being willing to serve.
Glad to be here.
Any other comments, questions before we entertain a motion? I believe that's the end of our agenda. Jessica, have I forgotten anything?
No.
Okay. Hearing none, I would welcome a motion.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Third. All right.
Mr. Ryan Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moini?
Yes.
Ms. Finch?
Yes.
Dr. Ali?
Yes.
Ms. Stomper?
Yes.
Dr. Wilsey?
Yes.
Dr. Henderson?
Thank you all for your service and your